Erev Torah B'Tay. Another important halakha we have to learn is regarding the Kaddish. We already talked about walking in front of somebody when he's saying Kaddish. We spoke about that. But the question is also another thing, when they're saying Kaddish in the Kehillah, are you supposed to be sitting or standing, right? You see, if you go to the Ashkenazi shul, everybody's standing for Kaddish. You ever notice that? Yeah. When you go to the Sephardi shul, no, nobody's standing up, right? And there are some people who are confused, they're not sure if they're Sephardi or they're Ashkenazi, they don't know what they are. So sometimes they do like Ashkenazim, sometimes they do like Sfaradim, they don't know what they're doing, they're, confused, right? Whatever. That's not good to be confused, you have to know. So let's read from the Kaf HaChaim. Talks about this, right? One of the big poskim of the Sfaradim in the last few generations. Who was this? Rabbi Chaim Sofer, right? Who came from Iraq, and he settled in Eretz Israel, and he was over there, living over there in Yerushalayim. He wrote the Kaf HaChaim. By the way, interesting thing, right? Kaf HaChaim has also a section in Yoredea, past Orach Chaim. Also, in Yoredea, he also wrote commentary on the Shulchan Aruch. But what happened was that when he was writing the Yoredea, Kaf HaChaim, Rav Sofer, what happened was that he passed away in the middle of the writing, passed away. So what happened was that now they needed somebody, the family, they were looking for somebody to finish the book. So what happened, right? They look over here, look over there. So they found, who did they find in the end, right? So, you can guess, right? My rabbi, Maran, Rabbi, they found him. At that time, when Kaf HaChaim passed away, Maran was 18 years old. Like a Bachur, Bachurchik. So they came to him, to Maran. At that time he wasn't Maran, he was Maranchik. Like this, right? So they came to him and they said, listen, the rabbi passed away, right? Rabbi Sofer. Can you do something to finish this book, Finish it off. So what happened, right? Can you imagine? He was 18 years old. Such a big Chacham. He took this book and he finished it. So the last part of the Kaf HaChaim is written by Maran, right? He was the one who finished everything over there. 18 years old. Can you imagine something like this? What chokhmah, When Maran was 30 years old, okay? So Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef told us, he told Maran, to Rabbi Yitzchak, the chief rabbi, he told him, he said, when I was 30 years old, he says, I already had the whole Shas, the whole Talmud, in my head. Like microfilm, go to from page to page, like this, in my head. I could go from page to, he knew the whole Shas by heart, at 30 years old, So at that time, his rabbi, who was the Rosh Yeshiva Parat Yosef, Rabbi Ezra Atiyah, he was also Gedol Ador, this rabbi, Chacham. So he said about Maran, he was a Talmid. Maran was his Talmid, when he was young. So he said about Maran, when he was 30 years old, he said he already has the Chokhmah of the Ben Ish Chai at the age of 30. Can you imagine? What kind of thing is this, He already is big enough like the Ben Ish Chai says. That's already big like the Ben Ish Chai. You can see what Maran was, right? But anyway, right? We're not here to talk about that. A little bit of history. It's good to know a little bit about these things. But anyway, what I want to tell you is that it says in the Kaf HaChaim about Kaddish, to stand or sit. So what is the minhag of the Sfaradim? First of all, let's talk about the Ashkenazim, right? Achenu, right? Our brothers. Right? We're all brothers, Ashkenazim, Sfaradim, we're brothers. It's one family. Different mother, but same father, right? Rachel, Leah, right? We're the same. The Arizal says, by the way, the Ashkenazim, they come from Rachel Imenu. And the Sfaradim, they come from Leah. This is the thing, because the Shvatim, how was it, Rachel, right, had two Shvatim. He had Yosef and Binyamin. This is the Ashkenazim, the Arizal says, And Leah had 6 children, right? And this is the Sfaradim, Yehuda, right? Shimon, Levi, Issachar, right? This Zevulun. This is the Sfaradim. This is that's the way you divide it up. Okay, whatever. It's a whole discussion in itself, right? But anyway, right? What's the kind of minhag of Sfaradim, of the Ashkenazim? The Ashkenazim, it says in the Ramah, in the Shulchan Aruch, that they stand for every Kaddish. So whatever Kaddish it may be, whether it's in the morning, right, Erev, Aboker, Tzahorayim, right, whatever it is, they stand for every Kaddish, the Ashkenazim. If you're sitting, you got to stand up. No, you cannot stay sitting like that. This is their custom, and where they get this from, says the Ramah, it comes from the Yerushalmi, Gemara Yerushalmi, comes from over there. It says in Yerushalmi that you should stand for all the Kedusha. So Kaddish is also Kedusha. It's like something like that. It's a holy thing. So therefore, that's what the Ashkenazim do. By the way, the thing is interesting, if you look in the Yerushalmi, Gemara Yerushalmi, and you try to find this, it doesn't, in our Yerushalmi, it doesn't say this. So it seems, why is that? What happened, So what happened? They made a new Yerushalmi? What happened, right? New edition? So what happened was probably, there are different texts in Yerushalmi, Some have this, some don't have. The one we have today doesn't have this, But the Ramah, in his Yerushalmi, he had it. Whatever it is, right? So that's the custom of the Ashkenazim. They stand for all the Kedusha, for all the Kaddish, every Kaddish. What about the Sfaradim? What's halakha for the Sfaradim, right? Don't get confused, We're not Ashkenazim, We have to know, right, what we are, We have some friends here who are Ashkenazim. Sometimes they come, or like, I think our friend over here, right, is Ashkenazi. But otherwise, we're Sfaradim. So what's the rule for the Sfaradim? It says in Kaf HaChaim, the rule is like this. If the minhag is by the Sfaradim, if they say Kaddish and you're sitting, you stay sitting. Don't stand. Don't have to stand. The problem is like this, you're going to say, I want to be Machamir, and stand like the Ashkenaz. I want to be Machamir. But the truth is, it's not good to be Machamir. You know why? Because if you're going to be Machamir, you look like you're Ashkenazi, look like you have a different minhag. And then that makes like two different minhagim, Some people do like this, some people do like that in one shul, it looks strange. It's not normal, So the truth is, if you really go to like the Sephardi shuls, especially in Eretz Israel where they know the halakha, over there, all when they say Kaddish, the whole keilah is sitting. Nobody's standing up for Kaddish. That's the way it is. It doesn't matter which Kaddish, by the way. It's all the same. Every Kaddish, we don't stand for Kaddish. This is the minhag of the Sfaradim. There is, by the way, one Kaddish that we stand for, the Sfaradim. Once a week we do it, Pam b'shavua. You know which one I'm talking about? He's Chacham. Boris HaChacham, right? Chacham Boris. So, right, he knows. Who says this, that we should stand for this Kaddish? You know what? The Ben Ish Chai says this. Rabbi Yosef Chaim, right? Rabbi Yosef Chaim. He says that the minhag is by the Sfaradim that we stand for the Kaddish that we do before Arvit, on Leil Shabbat. That one, right before Arvit. After we do Kabbalat Shabbat, right? Then the rabbi calls me, right? He says, okay, do Arvit, right? He calls me, right? So that Kaddish that I do on Leil Shabbat, or somebody else, right? Our friend Yonatan does sometimes. He does it, right? Doesn't matter who it is. Sometimes our friend Yosef, right? Rav Yosef, right? Doesn't matter who it is. When that Kaddish, the custom is to stand. The minhag is to stand for this Kaddish. Why is that? Anybody know why? Anybody know?
You get in Shabbat soul.
Oh, Chacham, right? Chacham Boris. Ashrecha. So, says the Ben Ish Chai, right? The reason is because you're getting the neshama yetera. There's a special neshama comes to you on Shabbat. Special extra neshama. So you're getting it during the Kaddish. And that's why we stand, to give kavod to the neshama yetera. This is the reason why we're standing for this Kaddish. But all the other Kaddishim, we don't stand this Sfaradim. But here's the thing, right? I have to tell you one more thing, because otherwise you won't understand the whole halakha. You have to understand the whole picture, from every angle, right? What about if you already standing and they started Kaddish? Can you sit down? This is the question, right? No. So there, Kaf HaChaim says, no, you're not allowed to sit down. If they already started, the custom is, the minhag is that we keep standing. You can't sit down in the middle of the Kaddish. You have to, if you got caught, right? They caught you, right? The Chazan caught you. You were standing, and so don't sit in the middle of the Kaddish. Asur to do that. But, here's the thing, right? I have to tell you one more thing. We'll stop here. I don't want to take you too long. One more thing I want to tell you, which is that we have to know one thing, which is, when does the Kaddish really end? What is the end of the Sofa Kaddish? Where is the end? This we have to know, Because we have, different Kaddishim, right? We have Al Yisrael, right? We have Yeshlama, right? We have Titkabal, and we have also Pashut, Kaddish Pashut, just regular, right? Like we do, before, after Ishtabach, before Yotzer Or, right? That one is Pashut Kaddish. Also, when we finish the Kriyat Torah, right? We do Pashut, Kaddish Pashut. Yeah. So, when is the end of the Kaddish? So, says the Rambam, right? When you say Damiran be'alma, Damiran ba've'ru amen. That's the end of the Kaddish. So then, what we say after, which is Al Yisrael, and Yesh Lama, and Titkabal Beratzon, this is not really Kaddish anymore. This is a separate prayer, The rabbis added this later on. On separate to the Kaddish.
Only first pasuk.
Daminan Biama. That's it, right? Over there. That's the end of the Kaddish. Ve'imru, Amen. That's it, right? Kaddish is over. So, since the Kaddish is over, at that time, Al Yisrael is a different prayer. The Tfilah Acheret. It's not Kaddish anymore. That's it. Finished. Right? And also, right, Yesh Lama, Titkaba, doesn't matter. This is not Kaddish. This is something after, a different prayer. So now it's important to understand this. You know why? Because now that we know the Kaddish ends over there, Daminan Be'alma, once they say Daminan Be'alma, you can sit down now because the Kaddish is over. That's it. You understand? You don't have to wait for also Al Yisrael and Yesh Lama to stand. You can sit already.
You're talking about person
For the Sfaradim.
who not saying Kaddish.
Right, we're not saying Kaddish, of course. Kaneshna, Boris. Of course. Of course, yeah, of course. Chacham, okay. That's why I told you to get the Rabbi Tam for him. Because he's Chacham. Okay. Okay, I told you. You know what they say, right? In the Kabbalah it says, Tefillin of Rabbi Tam, Tefillin of Rashi. One, they say, that the Tefillin of Rabbi Tam is Chokhmah, and Rashi is Bina, understanding. Two different things, So when you wear both, when you put both of them, you have also Bechina of Chokhmah and also the Bechina of Bina, You have both. So it's very important to get both of them. Maran used to say, Ravadia, my rabbi, he taught us, He used to tell us, a little bit of a joke, but also serious, Every joke that Hamid Cham says is also serious. It's Chokhmah. You know what he used to say? He used to say, if you don't put Tefillin of Rabbi Tam, when you go to Shemaim, they're not going to let you into the yeshiva of Rabbi Tam, only to the yeshiva of Rashi. They're going to say, you didn't put the Tefillin of Rabbi Tam, you can't come in here, I'm sorry. Sagur, close, finished. Minyan is over. That's what he used to say. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, amen. Rabbi Hananiah ben Kasher אומר, לעשה הקדוש ברוך הוא לעשות ישראל, לפיכך ירבה להם תורה מצוות שנאמר לו חפץ, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר.